Hey everybody, welcome back. So I know everybody's used to seeing us working with the big mainland reticulated pythons. We're really excited today to have a really tiny reticulated python. And she just got to us a few days ago, compliments of Jordan out at Heartland Reptiles. So we are going to introduce you guys to her when we come back on Intrepid Exotics. Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Now I'm going to take this girl out in a second, but we have been wanting to get some dwarf or super dwarf retics just so that as they grow up and mature, for the folks that really love the idea of a reticulated python, but they don't think they can handle the size of a 16, 18, 20 foot snake, these localities are a really good option. They've got the same awesome personality, the same intelligence, and in a lot of ways, they're just as fun to work with. I know they're easier on your back. That's a definite plus. But we've got her in here. We're going to go ahead and get her out. Let you guys see her. And she should be, yep, she's behind her hide. Now I will tell you this. This is a kalatoa Jampea platinum female. She was born June 21st. And Jordan did such an awesome job with this snake right here. Pretty sure his whole clutch is probably the same way. This is the most confident little hatchling you'll ever see in your life. Now, you'll notice when I'm going in on her right now, by comparison, when we was going in on a Sri Lankan, that snake was really terrified of people. And that whole experience going into the enclosure on him, as soon as he knew I was there, that tension was building. And I wanted to get him out of there just as quickly as I could, just to break that tension and then get him into thinking mode. Well, we've got a different situation with this animal because she is really mellow. So I'm just going in really slow, making sure she got plenty of time to wake up and see what's going on. Come on, girl. No rush. She's so much smaller too. Come on, sweetie. Come on now. There we go. So this is her. When she got here, I got her out of the bag, and it took all of about 5 minutes of her just kind of getting her bearings. She'd just been on a plane and been on a truck and sitting in that bag for a day. But as soon as she got her bearings, this is exactly what she started doing right here. We talk about hatchlings being bitey and nippy and you just gotta ignore all the bites and so forth. None of that at all with this girl. And it's really cool to see such a small snake that in the wild would be prey for everything. A really high likelihood that she wouldn't have even seen adulthood in the wild. She would have been a meal for somebody. But you get something that's so vulnerable like that in the wild to come in and just be so chill and so mellow. And this girl is not afraid of anything at all. And like I said, we got kind of crazy lighting in here, so we're making the best of it. I do want to get a couple really good close-ups of her. Get your head over there, girl. Let everybody see ya. There you go. Now the way we get these animals, of course she's small because she's a hatchling, but she's not really expected to get, I I would say on the longest side, maybe 12 feet as a mature adult, and that's going to be considered big for her. I would more expect her to be closer to the 8-foot range, but time will tell. You know, you do see some of the dwarf retics really maturing into, you know, fairly small animals compared to the mainlands. And you know, you hear that term tossed around a lot when we're talking about reticulated pythons and the mainlands and dwarfs and so forth. You know, retics are old world snakes from Southeast Asia, and the mainlands, of course, are on the mainland, right on the continent there. And as you get out to the islands out there, of course, it's smaller land masses, smaller prey items, a little bit more scarcity of food and so forth. So the retics that have made it to those islands have evolved a little bit smaller. So you'll hear, you know, different percentages. You know, this percentage is a dwarf, this percentage is a super dwarf, and this one likes the ceiling fan, just like all the other ones do. But you know, you'll hear them pretty commonly just referred to as localities, meaning that, you know, they're from an area where they've evolved just a little bit differently than their mainland counterparts. And this is one thing that's really awesome about any kind of retic, is there's something about this species and the way their mind works and just the way you interact with them is so much different from most species that you're going to have. These guys are always such a joy to interact with. You know, you can look in their face and you can see them surveying their surroundings and thinking and exploring stuff. Even this hatchling here, you know, she's got that trademark retic enthusiasm, I guess. And it's just really cool because she has got zero fear whatsoever. This is a really confident hatchling. So Jordan did an outstanding job with this girl. He spent a lot of time socializing her, and you know, just like you're supposed to do with any animal that you get. You know, she's got a couple sheds under her belt. She's got, I think, 12 meals or so like that. So she was, you know, taking frozen thaw just fine. And another thing too is that, you know, a lot of times we'll talk about when you get your hatchling, you know, leave them alone for a little while, let them get comfortable before you really try feeding them. But again, that hinges entirely on the demeanor of the animal. She was so comfortable being handled, being out and everything when she first got here. It was time for her to eat when she arrived. So the second day, I offered her some frozen thawed feeders, and she took that right away. And I mean, she just showed up perfect. And she's getting ready to eat again this weekend. So I thought you guys would really enjoy getting a look at her, and here over the course of the next couple years, you know, you guys can all follow along on her progress and her growth rate as we go, because I'll be doing a lot of updates with her as she starts to get a little bit bigger. But I will say, for anybody that's considering getting a, you know, for anybody that really loves reticulated pythons and working with them, but are a little bit intimidated by the size, the localities are a really awesome alternative. So, ain't ya? The only thing is, you just got to make sure that, you know, if you're looking specifically for a locality retic, that you make sure you're going through a reputable breeder, you know, somebody that you can trust that can provide you, you know, with the sire information and, you know, knows exactly the, you know, where that snake came from, because you don't want to be going through somebody that's trying to sell you a super dwarf locality or something like that, and it ends up being an 18-foot snake. There's still a little bit of debate in the community as to whether, you know, your localities are capable of or will get as big as the mainland based on feeding and stuff like that. But from everything that I've seen, with the ones that Garrett Hartle out of Reach Out Reptiles has been working with, and the ones that Jordan has, and some of the other ones that I've seen, Aubrey Pruitt has some locality retics too, that are really mature snakes, and they're really small. I mean, we're talking, you know, 6-8 feet, and they're just such amazing animals to work with. And they won't throw your back out. Like, I'm still hobbling around. And now I've got to go down and clean enclosures on the big guys after this. So I might be back on the heating pad this evening. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to boop your snoot. But I just wanted to give you guys an introduction and give a big shout out to Jordan out of Heartland Reptiles, who produced this girl and did such an awesome job on prepping her to come out here. Jordan also has some pretty unique enclosures that he's working on, powder coated aluminum enclosures, and I'll leave the links for all of this stuff down in the description of the video so you guys can go and check all that stuff out too. And he's got some left in his clutch. I don't know how many of them are holdbacks or how many of them have found a home already, but you know, that's definitely, if you're looking for somebody who's going to set you up with a really well prepared animal, Jordan's the guy to talk to. And like I said, I'll leave all his contact information down there. So I'm going to go ahead and put her back. Like I said, I just wanted to do a quick intro with her. And let her go back home. Go back home. About half the time when we put her back in here, she'll go in, roam around for a little bit, and then try and shoot right back on my arm. So we'll be doing a lot more deep dives into the dwarf, super dwarf, the locality retics here. There's a whole lot of good information about them. You know, we can go over where they're at and what the differences are between them and the mainlands. We'll go into a lot of that stuff. And I mentioned the Sri Lankan python. If you guys hadn't caught the series where we did the 10 episodes of recording every handling session to get him socialized, then I'll go ahead and leave this in the end screen, and you guys can check that out too and see what that experience is like, and then we can compare and contrast to this one. As you can see, when you're getting new animals, you run the whole gambit. You can have a really good experience, you can have a really challenging experience, but either way, it all boils down to how much respect we have for the animals and how much effort we put into just building that relationship with them. The hard work's already done with this girl, so we're just going to continue to foster that. And Bob, the Sri Lankan python, is doing pretty good too. So now I wanted to say a quick shout out again to all the Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. We're going to keep building that up, working on upgrading our camera equipment. I'd like to redo all the lighting and stuff in here and make it a little bit better. And channel subscribers, you guys are great. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, get down there and hit it. Hit the notification bell. We try and get videos out about once a week. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. But do that, and don't forget, check out our experience with Bob there, the Sri Lankan python. We had a lot of fun with him, and we still are. But you guys have an outstanding day, and we'll see you next time on Intrepid Exotics.